is wrong. Science is really, really simple. It's what's complicated is all these theories. And when you start building this house of cards on theories, and this theory depends on these two theories, and depends on this, and depends on this, and depends on this, how could this be right? It just can't be right.
Don't even think about checking if this one is correct, right. Because if it is not correct,
but that is the problem. Is that if you build what you think and say and what you do on facts, okay, and as soon as it starts to enter into the area of theory, you look for other facts that support or deny whatever that thing is, and never take the next step until this then becomes a fact. Once it becomes a fact, then you can go, well, maybe I can put something on top of that. But until it's a fact, all it is bullshit.
I have no tools to understand which theory is the correct one. But if I think about just normal, logical reason...
I know. Believe me. I run into it all the time.
I suppose you found people just saying...
I'm retarded.
I never thought about that.
I have every once in a while somebody will change. They'll magically go through this process, and I go, "Oh, Neal, it makes sense now." And it's so simple, I'm like, it's because you got to throw out the bullshit. Oh, what is? Then how could this happen? How could it? Oh, of course. So there's a small group of people. It's probably more people than I think, because every once in a while you'll see them come to the thing and say, well, and Neal's not here for a couple of days because he's at a comic book convention or whatever. Wait a second, look at this and look at this and look at this. And suddenly I got a quiet defender out there who's really thinking about this. And he doesn't say anything, but he just thinks, he just keeps quiet. The people who are the loudest, so like the people who don't want me to recolor my comic books, they're like the crazies. He's an asshole. He doesn't know what he's talking about. Those people are so loud compared to the people who are just quietly thinking.
Yes.
That you can't compare the two.
Usually, who's complaining is really creating so much more noise than thousands of people.
And you know what? I've been trying to disprove this for 11 years now. I can't. I cannot find a way to disprove it. It's insane. I cannot find anything that disproves it. I look everywhere. And I ask, even on the site, I say, look, if you have something to disprove it, let me know what it is. And, I'll drop the thing like that. Just one thing. And I'll drop it. Nothing. You got nothing.
But they simply, let's say, they don't want to recognize...
They'll even look at the fucking continents come together and say, you must be tricking me. No, I didn't do anything.
At least curiosity has to bring you to see it.
It's interesting. Anyway, so let's move on.
And 2 Men in a Bar?
I haven't I got to the end of it.
You have
so
other
much
things. I know. No, that's a matter. A friend of mine just asked me, and he told me just
125 pages. I'm probably going to have to redo more than half of it.
Oh.
Because so much has happened, so much shit has.
That's about what they are saying.
I'll give you an idea. It's just so crazy. You know why it rains?
You know?
I do.
No. What?
Do you know why it rains?
Oh.
Or how it rains?
No, I cannot.
I have no fucking idea.
And I cannot tell you the rain.
Even the meteorologists don't know how it rains. It's so weird. Anyway, so what happens is water evaporates or whatever evaporates. And
up to here.
Up to here, you're good. So it evaporates, and as it's going up into the sky, the atoms join. Oxygen and hydrogen. When oxygen and hydrogen join, they throw off an electron, or sometimes two. Throws off an electron. That's a negative electron. It's called an ion, if you want to call it that. But it's a negative electron. Now, what that does is it kind of depletes this joined molecule, turns it into water, piece of water vapor. Okay. Now, for it to come together, it has to be in a sympathetic place. Otherwise, it won't join another water molecule. So as it's rising, these electrons are fired off. Now, electrons make a negative charge in the air. the negative charge keeps the molecules from coming together. So you have all these electrons floating around, and you have these molecules, individual molecules of water, don't get together. Because if they would get together, they'd fall. Boom, 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 boom. Raindrop, right? They're not coming together. So you kind of look up at like, what the hell's going on up there? Well, it's all these molecules not getting together. Why? Because there's the electrons keeping them apart. Because the electrons happen when they joined. In fact, that's the basis of hydrogen power, by the way, is you let electrons go and they go into a carbon plate and they make energy and you draw off the energy. Anyway, so what happens is you have this cloud of water vapor, right? And then you have these electrons. You ever notice when you get up, take off in the air in a plane, and you're coming up under these clouds, and the clouds on the bottom look straight like that, just like that. They're sitting on an electromagnetic line of the Earth. We have electromagnetic lines going around the Earth. The clouds are sitting. They're sitting on the line. So they billow at the top, right? But they sit on the line on the bottom. And the reason they do is because of the electrons, because the electrons are negative, so they sit on a positive line. So they're attracted to the line, but they don't let you go below it. They're attracted, so they sit in this electromagnetic line. The line is positive, okay? Because if it was negative, they'd be repelled from it, okay? So it's positive, so they sit on it. And they carry the water vapor with it in this kind of, you know, little bubbly thing. So the clouds are rolling along. And you look at these fucking clouds, they're massive, and they don't come together. Because they're held apart by the electrons. Under the Earth, down under the Earth, a charge is building up, a positive charge. Why? Because of this negative charge over here. Like when you do these experiments in school, you have a negative, a positive charge, and suddenly you get, right? So the charge is building up inside the Earth because there's a lot of negative charge available because of the evaporation that left. So a charge starts to build up inside the Earth, tracking the cloud, just tracking it like this, following it like that. At a certain point, the charge builds up enough that it goes like that. And you get lightning. Okay. Now, what causes that is the electrons, which are giving the thing a negative charge, migrate to the very bottom of the cloud because there's this charge building up here. So they're heading for this charge. Okay. So they migrate to the charge. As they migrate to the charge, they empty the space between the water vapor, so the water vapor comes together, the two water molecules. So the charge migrates to the bottom of the cloud, the charge here leaps up, this leaps down, and you get lightning, and then you get rain, because the negative charge has left the cloud.
The space empty.
Now, I've read a dozen books, and they don't have it in there. It's not in there. They don't know. They know that electrons migrate to the bottom of the cloud, and so they don't know that the electrons are holding the molecules apart. You have all the pieces of the puzzle, and that nobody puts it together. It's like, wait a second. If the electrons migrate to the bottom of the cloud, and so they were the only thing in the cloud, and they left, and then the molecules come together, what was holding the molecules apart? Has to be the electrons. There's nothing else. So I'm like writing, oh fuck, I gotta write a paper about fucking rain. I write a paper, like, oh, this is like number 17. The more shit I discover, the more paper I have to add to this. And I look back at the pages and I go, I probably don't need to. Fuck. It's like I'm re-editing myself, and it's making me crazy. The book. Once I started to do this. Started to do the papers because I did 125 pages, and then I started to write papers at the end just to get some of this crap off my head that I didn't cover in the book. It's like it's going on forever. I just can't. This is totally insane. And now I don't even like the front end of the book because like I dwell too much on this and I didn't go here, I didn't do that. I talk about the shape of a galaxy and why it's the way it is, and a dark hole in the middle. And suddenly I'm reading new shit on dark holes. I'm fucking dark holes, please. I thought I had it nailed. Is that the way it's going on? What's happening? You sons of bitches. And you know, and new things have been discovered since then that everybody like. We had this whole big debate. I've had this whole big debate with NASA. It's really not a big debate from my point of view, but I've written letters to NASA saying, look, Mars has an electromagnetic field, and there's tectonics going on Mars. You people are crazy. And they go, no, Mars has no electromagnetic field, and there's no tectonics on Mars. It's a dead planet. It's been dead for a couple of billion years. You have the Valles Marineris, this fucking thing that's as wide as the United States of America. It's this big crack. How do you explain it? Well, a river ran down that. One river on the whole of the planet Mars, and it's this fucking wide. It's as wide as Texas, and it's small at the ends, and it's like, and it looks like a crack, and it looks like a crack and spread. And you're saying a river did that? Where did it go? Why?
Coming from where? Going to
it's like, so finally, this, like, I don't know, about 4 months ago, some professor wrote a paper where he got together with all his crew and they go, well, as it turns out, there's lots of tectonics on Mars, pretty much like on Earth. It's a 25-year-old argument they discovered, like, oh, there's tectonics on Mars. Oh, and by the way, we found a magnetic field. We got pictures of it. Really? I've been telling. Bunch of fucking idiots.
They have the evidence, right?
Yeah, well, they got the evidence. They got a picture now of the magnetic field. That's great. But it's like you know, the problem is that this science has gone so far ahead. It's sort of like, this is the way I try to describe it. You're on the road, right? And there's a 7-Eleven, right? And then you look and you